Okay, so we're gonna work with this for now, see how well this goes. So, yeah, like I said, this is Capcom vs. SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium 2001. This, I would say, is the guilty pleasure fighting game that I've had for quite a while. That the game, it's the video game I've wanted to play for so long. Like, I've had other games I've wanted to play as well that I've never had the chance, but this game this old, and for the time I've had with fighting games, and especially when it comes to like SNK and the King of Fighters, this game is a treat. This game is like the top of all top. Words cannot express how much I've already had experience with this game ever since December when I got this for Christmas. Like, oh my god. That was the first thing I did right after opening gifts and stuff. I'm just like, load up the PS2, we need to play some CVS2. I even got my friends to play it, they enjoyed it for a while, and then I got this game emulated on my PC. It doesn't run the best, I will admit. There are some lag spikes here and there, and especially when it comes to recording and like also, you know, loading it up and stuff. And there's a few noticeable things as well compared to the PS2, but we're working with best we can. I mean, this is why. How else am I able to try this out with a fight stick? Even though I'm gonna try. I bought a PS2 adapter so I could play this with a PS2 controller again, because honestly, I was actually more comfortable playing this on a PS2 controller than I was with a fight stick, so yeah. But right now we're doing this with the Mayflash F300, my first fight stick. Honestly, both these gifts were quite an amazement for me for Christmas. These were like the two best things I got. And I'm glad to actually pair these things together right now, so yeah. Anyway. Then, CVS2, greatest crossover Capcom has probably had outside of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Let's be real here. Let's be real here. This game has always been second to none when it comes to Capcom crossovers. Like, you've had the Tekken crossovers, they've had Tatsunoko, they've had so many other crossovers, but when it wasn't Marvel that wasn't being talked about, somewhere CVS2 was being talked about, and just Capcom vs. SNK in general. Maybe not the first game as much anymore, maybe not also CVSC Chaos. You know, that one title that SNK made before they went bankrupt, which was essentially their only crossover. But still, when it came to this game, it was the talk of the town. Has it held up compared to many other fighting games back in the like late 90s? Well, I shouldn't say late 90s, because this game actually did come out in 2001. This game actually did, but does it hold up from the start of the century? Honestly, yes. There's a few things to consider about this game. One, there is still an online community for this game. There are ways to play CVS2 online, not just on, if you're lucky, an old Xbox. There are actually patches online on the internet that allow you to play this game fully online. It's not the best. It still holds, like, I'm pretty sure some kind of delay-based netcode like its old version did, but less worse. But less than worse, honestly. Yeah, hold on a sec. But yeah, I've yet to try that out. I've yet to fully go online because I would bet most of the players on CVS2 online right now are possibly like the veterans of this game, the ones that are actually continuing to play this game non-stop. On top of everything else, like, they're playing Street Fighter, they're playing Guilty Gear, they're playing Tekken, they're just playing so many different other games, and I'm here. I'm here mostly focused on KOF and Guilty Gear, and now CVS2, which I'm here. Yes, we're here. Can you believe it? Anyway, would this game hold up? Honestly, for a legacy, yes, it has. For a legacy of being a very, very good crossover game. Is it the easiest to get into? Absolutely not. This game is very, very technical. Like, it doesn't have those systems that you would expect from, like, Guilty Gear, but it's that weird mixture between, like, what Capcom has, because, remember, this was made in-house by Capcom. CVS2 only gave the license to use the characters for Capcom. Sure, they gave a few ideas, there were a few people on the production team, but otherwise, it was Capcom mainly building this game and building upon what they could do back at that time in 2001. Between what they were doing with Street Fighter and what SNK was doing with King of Fighters and other SNK titles. So yeah. Favorite aspect of this game definitely has to be presentation. I love just how almost simple this looks, but just how much variety it is. Just let's take a moment to look at the character select screen just for a few minutes. There's a lot to come out of this. There's a lot to come out of this menu screen. Like, okay, maybe this character select isn't the best example of how to make a character select screen. It's not by a long shot, but it's still, like, look at this large size roster. Look at this roster between Capcom characters and SNK characters. It's absolutely impressive. Would there be better characters involved? Yes, but you have to remember, it was 2001. Who else were these companies going to add? I mean, a few more Darkstalker characters? I mean, sure, but by the time it was 2001, was there really any other Darkstalkers or Vampire Savior games? No, and Morrigan was kind of like the top of the ranks, the top of the chain when it comes to Darkstalkers. And SNK has always had those characters where, like, yeah, even the less-known characters like Raiden or Vice, they're still well represented in this game. They still are. They have some uniqueness. Also, like every fighting game, there's always the dominant characters as well. There's always the very dominant characters. But I digress on that part. I also want to talk about this announcer right now. Just blending in with the music. Just announcing like, hey, come on, man, it's 2001. It's the $1 million tournament. Like, that has got to be my favorite announcer in all of fighting games. My favorite out of all. You could probably argue with another announcer, but this one has so much, what's the word, intensity to him. He doesn't have that intensity like, say, maybe like Mortal Kombat where he isn't like super serious, but it's like, he's really ramping up this tournament. He's ramping everything up every second. And you could just tell. Like, he's taking it at such a slow pace, but I truly appreciate for how he expresses it. It's even better, especially with the other variants of, like, there's different versions of how the character select screen is explained, or even the ratio as well. Like, it's all sought out so good, and I love it for that. Another thing to credit CVS2 for. They did this with CVS1, but I appreciate that, you know, SNK artists drew the Capcom characters in their style. This was like 1999 style, for sure. I recognize this art style, and that is definitely from 1999. That's definitely from 99. And then Capcom drew the SNK characters in the Capcom art style. So they're very, like, the more anime-ish they already look, but either way, they look really good. And Capcom characters in the SNK style, some of them are alright, but you gotta think, yeah, art styles really vary, and these two companies definitely had their own styles of art. Their own styles. And while it may not blend the best with some characters, it definitely blends well, especially with SNK characters. It really does. Why does Raiden actually still have its SNK art? That's SNK art right there. Did he not have? Wait, what? That's so weird. Is that like that for other characters or something? I am confused. Raiden isn't a Capcom character, so why does he have his... I do not understand. I don't understand, honestly. Anyway. I appreciate for what this game's presentation is like. And again, learning this on a fight stick has not been the easiest, like it has been with a lot of other fighting games. Again, it's that idea that I've only had this fight stick for almost a month now. It's been almost a month since I've had my Mayflash F300, and I've already gotten used to some games that I could actually get more comfortable actually learning more. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is definitely one of those that I am, like, very interested in continuing to play with my fight stick, because I cannot play that on a PS4 controller for the life of me. I can't. I cannot play Marvel on a freaking PS4 controller. I know some people can, but I can't. I can't do everything all at once. I can't do everything, so... Then I tried this with other games as well, like, say, Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R. It's a little more comfortable, honestly, than a PS4 controller. But still that idea that I have to continue, understanding, like, oh, here's my characters. Oh, yeah, like, these are the characters I want to play. Like, Ino is that character that I'm specifically focusing in Guilty Gear Xrd for because of, like, all her crazy stuff. And she could do maximum things as well, but no, I'm still getting used to fights, like understanding like how to do air dashes, understanding when to do input motions. Like, yeah, that's the thing. That's the real learning thing of fighting games. You don't learn everything day one, and it does. Sometimes it even takes more than a month, which I bet I will still be figuring this all out in about a month. And the idea is, once you learn everything else, once you remember everything, like, okay, no, let me put it this way. After figuring out everything, after understanding what you need to understand about a fighting game, how to move, how to properly do moves, how to do combos, how to take advantage of the system mechanics, then it's that idea you have to remember that for later times. Because sometimes you're going to want to do arcade runs, sometimes you're going to want to fight with buddies, sometimes you're going to play online, you're going to want to do more stuff. You're going to want to do the stuff with what you learn and put it into practical use in a fighting game. And I hope to do that one day, especially once we're out of this freaking pandemic. But anyway, but no, just the idea, like, once you learn everything, now you gotta remember it. And if you have to get a refresher, get a refresher. Trust me, not everybody remembers the things that they know. Like, if you forget stuff a day after, it's fine, it's understandable, because everybody does that. Everybody does not remember. But yeah, anything else I want to say until I cut for now? Because hopefully this audio quality has not been jittery, and hopefully game quality hasn't been jittery as well. I have not had any lag spikes, so... But yeah, all I just have to say is, if you get the chance, get yourself a copy of CVS2 online. Get it for whatever console you're most comfortable with. I mean, then again, I'm pretty sure it's only available for PS2 and Xbox. Original Xbox, like old Xbox. You'd be surprised what kind of people would probably still be playing on old Xbox. Probably not that many, but there is also communities that also support online connectivity with CVS2, not just for tournaments, but just like playing online normally with other people. Again, though, I don't know if that's just like people that have been playing the game nonstop, but hey, maybe once I figure that out, I'll probably, maybe I'll drop this version where it's just like the PlayStation 2 version, which has no online support, and just get the one that is fully online support. So, but yeah, I'm going to stop here. This will probably be my last recording for the night until tomorrow, probably, because it's been a long day figuring out all this stuff with my microphone and why I wasn't picking up any audio on games. So yeah, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to check this all out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.